The distress call came at midnight. Mayday! Mayday! This is Blue Heron. Engine failure. Coordinates 38.5 north, 73.4 west. Crew overboard. Then nothing. Silence on the radio. Captain Elias Monroe stared at the dark waves crashing against the hull of his rescue boat. He'd been a sailor for 27 years. Pulled people from frozen waters, dodged hurricanes, and even saved a cargo ship from pirates once off the coast of West Africa. But this was different. Because those coordinates, they pointed to Dead Man's Island. And the voice on the radio, that was supposed to be dead. He'd buried that man 5 years ago. Chapter 1, The Ghost Coordinates. The sea was merciless that night. Wind screamed through the rigging of Elias Monroe's 46-foot rescue cutter, Storm Angel, as he sailed east off the coast of North Carolina. Lightning split the sky in white-hot veins, revealing an endless stretch of angry ocean. Beside him, First Mate Kelly, a woman barely 25 with salt in her veins and courage most men twice her age didn't have, tightened the sail and shouted over the wind, "Captain, those coordinates are suicide." Elias didn't answer. He was staring at the radar. 38.5 north, 73.4 west. A place sailors whispered about, but never dared to approach. Dead Man's Island. No one lived there. No one left it alive. But someone had sent a signal, and Elias couldn't ignore it. Because that voice had belonged to Jude Colby, a poor fish catcher from the Outer Banks. Elias had trained him, taken him under his wing, treated him like a younger brother. 5 years ago, Jude's boat sank in a storm. They found wreckage. They never found the body. And now, he was calling for help. Chapter 2, Strangers in the Storm. When the Storm Angel reached the island, it was almost 3 a.m. A thick fog clung to the rocky shore. There was no sign of a wrecked ship. But as Elias and Kelly lowered the small inflatable and made for the beach, they saw it afire, flickering orange in the distance near the tree line. Someone was alive. As they approached, figures appeared through the fog. 3 men, huddled near the flames, soaked to the bone. One was limping. One looked barely 20. And the third, Elias's breath caught in his throat. "Jude," he whispered. The man turned. A long beard, hollow cheeks, haunted eyes. But it was him. It was Jude Colby. He staggered forward and collapsed into Elias's arms. "You came," he whispered. Kelly looked around. "Who are the others?" Jude opened his mouth, then hesitated. "They are not from my boat. I found them here." They were already on the island. One of the other men, a skinny kid with wide eyes and sunburned skin, said quietly, "We've been here for 3 months." Kelly blinked. "That's impossible." But the third man, older, heavier, with rough hands and a deep southern drawl, nodded. "A storm took us. We washed up here. Ain't no one believed we was alive." "Who are you?" Elias asked. He gave a tired smile. "Name's Reed. I used to haul fish off the Gulf. Thought I was gonna die out here. Then Jude showed up." Elias turned to Jude. "What happened? How did you survive?" Jude stared into the flames. "That's a long story." Chapter 3, The Island's Curse. The island wasn't just uninhabited, it was unnatural. The trees twisted like they were screaming. The birds didn't sing. And at night, strange howls echoed from the cliffs. "We tried sending signals," said the kid, whose name was Finn. "Nothing ever left this place. Radio waves, flares, even smoke. It's like the island swallows everything." "Except Jude's call," Kelly noted. Reed nodded. "That's 'cause Jude ain't like the rest of us." Jude looked uncomfortable. "I only survived the first storm 'cause I floated in a freezer door. It washed me up here. The island, it changed me." Elias frowned. "Changed you how?" Jude stood and walked to the edge of the firelight. He lifted his shirt. A thick, jagged scar ran from his ribs to his hip. "There's something beneath this island. Something that feeds on fear. It drags down ships. Plays tricks with your mind. Kelly laughed nervously. Come on, man, that sounds like something from a movie. But Elias didn't laugh. He remembered something. 20 years ago. His own father, a sailor before him, had chased a distress call that led him to these same waters. He never came back. Elias had assumed it was just the sea. Now, he wasn't so sure. Chapter 4, The Cave. Jude led them to a hidden path, barely visible under vines and stone. You need to see this, he said. Then you'll understand. They hiked for 2 hours up steep cliffs and through dense fog. At the top of the island, hidden behind a wall of thorns, was a cave. Inside. Steel boxes. Rotted crates. Government markings. Finn stepped back. Is that military stuff? Jude nodded. I think this island was a testing ground. They buried something here. Elias approached one of the crates. It was open. Inside, vials of liquid. Strange tools. A folder marked Project Strand, Phase 3. Kelly picked up the folder. This is from the 70s. Some kind of mind control experiment. They were testing fear, Jude whispered. Ways to use it. Inject it. Amplify it. Then they realized the island itself feeds it. Elias backed away. We need to get off this place. But Jude didn't move. You can go, he said. But I'm staying. What? Elias barked. You called me for help. Jude looked down. I didn't. The island did. It used my voice. My memory. It wanted you here. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Then the ground shook. Chapter 5, The Ground Cracks. The earth split. Not wide, but just enough to send a shiver through their bones. Elias stumbled back, shielding Kelly as dust rained from the cave ceiling. Jude stood motionless, eyes locked on the vibrating ground beneath his boots. The island's waking up, he whispered. Reed cursed under his breath. You said that wouldn't happen for weeks. I was wrong, Jude muttered. It heard us talking. It knows. Knows what? Elias snapped. That you want to leave. Suddenly, every noise stopped. No wind. No birds. Just stillness so loud it hurt. And then, from deep within the island, a hum. It started low. Barely audible. But it grew, like the sound of a million whispers rising from underground. Kelly's voice trembled. What is that? Jude didn't answer. His eyes glistened with something close to guilt. It's how the islander speaks. Chapter 6, The Fisherman's Secret. They fled the cave, climbing back down the slope in silence. Reed helped Finn along the path. The young man had twisted his ankle earlier, and now every step was agony. As the trees thickened, Elias slowed beside Jude. You lied to me. Jude flinched. Not everything. You said the island kept you alive. But you didn't say how. Jude stopped walking. Because I'm not proud of it. Elias waited. I wasn't the only one who washed up here. There were 4 others. All fishermen. Poor folks like me. We caught fish in barrels, prayed for good winds, shared our meals like brothers. And Jude's voice dropped. When food ran out, 2 of them turned on each other. Fought to the death. I tried to stop them. I swear I did. But after that, something in me broke. He glanced at Elias. The island doesn't just feed on fear. It offers deals. It whispers. Promises. And if you say yes, it gives you food. Strength, even safety. Elias's voice was like ice. What did you trade? Jude stared at the trees. One of the fishermen. I let him die. Silence. The trees seemed to lean in closer. You murdered him. No. I didn't stab him. I didn't push him. But I could have saved him. I chose not to. Elias stepped away. His fists clenched. You don't get to call that survival. I wasn't trying to survive, Jude said quietly. I was trying to forget what it felt like to be useless. Poor. Powerless. Chapter 7, The Storm Returns. Back at the campfire, the sea groaned louder. Dark clouds raced over the sky. Lightning danced on the horizon. Another storm. Reed squatted beside the fire, rubbing his hands together. We ain't got long before that thing hits. If we don't find cover, we are fish bait. Kelly said, we can't use the boat in weather like this. Jude pointed to an old shack deeper inland. It's broken, but it'll keep us dry. Come on. As they rushed through the trees, Finn fell again. This time, his foot was badly swollen. I'll carry him, Elias said, lifting the boy over his shoulders. By the time they reached the shack, the rain had started. Thick, sideways sheets that stung like needles. The roof leaked. The windows were gone. But they had shelter. And they had firewood. They gathered close, the storm howling just beyond the walls. And in that small, broken space, surrounded by darkness and secrets, they talked. Chapter 8, The Confessions. Reed went first. He told them about his daughter, Jessie. How she begged him to stop drinking. How he promised he would, but lied. How she'd stopped speaking to him before he went out on that last fishing trip. I thought if I made enough money, I could fix it. Buy her a car. Pay her tuition. Something. But when the storm hit, I didn't pray for my boat. I prayed for her to forgive me. He wiped his eyes. Still don't know if she ever will. Finn spoke next. He was only 19. No family. Grew up in group homes. Lived on the docks for work. Joined a fishing crew because it was all he could afford. I just wanted to be seen, he said. Wanted someone to care if I went missing. He looked at Elias. Do you think people ever wonder where I am? Elias nodded. They will now. Then Jude spoke. And this time, he told everything. About how the island showed him visions. Of his dead mother calling his name. Of people he'd wronged. Of hunger so sharp it felt like knives. How long were you here before the others came? Kelly asked. Jude swallowed. Almost 4 years. Everyone fell silent. 4 years alone. And he'd survived. Chapter 9, The Plan. When the storm passed, they knew they couldn't stay. Not another night. The island's changing, Elias said. That quake wasn't natural. Whatever's under us, it's not going to stay buried. Jude agreed. We can reach the beach by dawn if we start now. But the radio didn't work, Kelly said. How will we call for help? Jude smiled faintly. That's the thing. After you arrived, the signal bars came back. Elias blinked. What? The island allowed it, Jude said. It used your arrival to open a door. But that door won't stay open long. Kelly looked at Elias. Then we run. Elias nodded. We run. Chapter 10, Escape. They raced through the jungle. The island groaned beneath them, like it knew. The sky began to lighten. Just hints of orange and grey. At the edge of the trees, the beach appeared. And there, the storm angel, tied to a rock, swaying with the tide. Kelly whooped with joy. She's still here. They sprinted toward it. But the sand shifted beneath their feet. Like quicksand. Finn screamed as his leg sank to the knee. Reed grabbed him, pulling hard. Jude turned. Go. Get to the boat. What about you? Elias shouted. Jude stood frozen, staring at the cliffs behind them. The whispers had returned. Only this time. They were louder. And clearer. You can leave, the voices hissed. But not all of you. Jude smiled faintly. Someone has to stay. No, Elias growled. You're coming with us. But Jude shook his head. The island gave me life. It can take it back. Then he shoved Elias hard toward the boat. Take them home. And with that, Jude walked back into the jungle. Vanished. Gone. The hunger and the storm. By the third day, the island turned cruel. The sun beat down like a hammer. Their skin blistered, lips cracked. And every drop of sweat felt stolen from life itself. Daniel searched the jungle's edge. Kicking through dry leaves. Praying for something edible, berries, a nest, anything. He found only sharp branches and silence. Miles sat by the fire pit, staring into smoke. We're not gonna make it, are we? He mumbled. Daniel didn't answer. Instead, he brought back a few cracked coconuts. We share this. Tonight, we ration. As night fell, dark clouds began gathering. Thunder whispered from the sea. They barely made shelter from palm fronds and sailcloth before the sky broke open. Rain lashed the island. Wind howled like wolves. The fire died instantly. In the darkness, huddled under their makeshift roof. Miles whispered, I once ran from a storm like this. In Alaska. Almost drowned. Daniel looked over. Why'd you become a fisherman? Because I couldn't face the shore anymore, he said. That storm killed my brother. I survived. He didn't. Silence fell heavier than the rain. Daniel sighed. My brother drowned too. Navy. Training accident. That night, under a sky screaming with lightning. Two broken men clung to shivering truths. And for the first time, they felt like brothers. Part 4, 500 words. The stranger in the sand. On the 5th day, everything changed. Daniel woke up early. The storm had passed, leaving the world washed clean. Birds returned to the trees, chirping like a cruel joke. Then he saw it, tracks. Footprints in the sand. Not theirs. Someone's here, he whispered. Miles grabbed the makeshift spear. Another survivor. They followed the prints along the northern ridge. Down past jagged rocks and low-hanging vines. Then, they saw him. A man. Thin, sunburned, and wild-eyed. He looked like he hadn't spoken to anyone in years. Who are you? Daniel asked. The man flinched. Don't come closer. I've been here since last year. Shipwreck. His name was Eli. A merchant crewman. He'd been surviving alone. Hiding in the caves. Afraid of the island's curse, he said. Boats come close. And vanish. No one escapes. Why didn't you signal them? Miles asked. Eli just stared at the ocean. Because the island keeps you. The longer you stay, the harder it lets you leave. They thought he was mad. But then they saw what he showed them. Behind a thick line of bushes were remains of old rafts. Half-built. Broken radios. Torn life jackets. And bones. Human bones. Daniel's breath caught. Miles turned pale. This is where they tried to escape, Eli whispered. Every one of them failed. Daniel clenched his fists. We're not going to fail. Then you'll have to do what they didn't, Eli said. You'll have to leave something behind. What? Fear.